It's good to see a lot of familiar faces. And I'm sorry I've been sort of an absentee leader here, but I appreciate all the support from everybody picking up in the gaps. But I'm still here on the East Coast trying to make sure my dad has a good path forward here. So thank you.
And that's very important.
Well, I see that we have good old Bill where it looks like. And I'm going to let you know, Mike, I'm supposed to be the safety officer for field day.
Sounds good.
And I'm going to have a doctor's appointment Friday morning. And then after that's over with, I'll be out there for the duration.
Okay. Okay. No
So
worries.
you've been warned.
Yep, I've been warned.
Yeah, well, I got a doctor's appointment as well. And it's going to be all day long Friday. That's the day, my birthday, that I get to start chemotherapy.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, I've got I got diffused large cell. Let me try that again. Diffused large B cell lymphoma,
Oh,
which is a very aggressive cancer. Probably haven't had it more than 3 or 4 months. And if it were to be untreated, I probably wouldn't live more than another 6 months.
well, my thoughts and prayers are with you, Bill.
Bill, you've known me for a few years. Have you ever known me to be speechless?
Not hardly.
No, Paul, I've never known you to be speechless. You always come up with some kind of words.
Well, you know,
Finally, something that stopped him.
hey, I'm at an age where, you know, something's going to get me at some point. So this particular cancer, because it's so aggressive, it is actually pretty amenable to chemotherapy. And they have typically a 60 to 70% cure rate for this particular cancer. So, hey, I'll take a 2/3 chance, but it's going to be 6 months of misery. Chemotherapy every 3 weeks.
Well, our
Okay.
thoughts are still with you, Bill.
Hey, Bill, holler if you ever need a ride to chemo.
I think the wife's pretty much got that taken care of.
Okay, just saying.
Yeah.
So anybody else have any fun stuff going on with them?
I mean, you're talking about Bill's cancer and then you're talking about fun stuff. I don't think those are I don't know, maybe they taught us the different words in law school or something like that from what general people use, but I don't think that's very fun.
No.
No, but I was trying to move on to a happy
Yeah, no,
conversation here.
I get the transition.
So Bill and I are both approximately about the same age, and we know that, you know, at this age, every day is a day that we always appreciate being in, and we both have worked real hard to try and stay away from all the bad stuff, and I know someday something's going to bite me too, but still have a lot of fun, a lot of things I still want to do out there in this world.
With all that you know, hiking you do, Mike, what's going to bite you is going to be a snake.
You know, the weird thing is that I very, very seldom, if ever, see a snake out of there. It's usually the darn black bears. But the nice thing about black bears, they're just as afraid as me as I am afraid as them. So when a black bear jumps up, we both split in opposite directions as fast as we can go. And I think last year, actually, I'd been on a 2-year hiatus, 3-year hiatus, and not run into any black bears. Last year was the first black bear I'd run into for at least 3 years. And believe me, it scared the crud out of both of us. So I do know one common thing, and then I'll get back to opening the meeting here, but huckleberries. I love being out on the trail and having lots of good, fresh, ripe huckleberries. And so this was an area that was rich in huckleberries. I was, going along there, stripping off huckleberries as fast as I can and chucking them down my throat there. And next thing I knew, I felt the earth move underneath me. And that was a big black bear that was charging through the woods, hit a tree. And this is the first one I've ever seen run up a tree, but he ran up a tree about 30, 40 feet. But this tree was not just a normal healthy tree, it was a rotten tree. So as he's ripping up the side of this tree, he's pulling out big chunks of bark and wood. He's having a horrible time just getting traction to get up there. But he got up there, he stayed up there, and I whistled along and turned up the volume on my HT to listen to something and just wandered right out of the woods. And that was the end of it. My big concern was there. This was a pretty good sized gal, and that there might have been some babies in the area. And that's always my biggest concern, but no problems there. Okay, let's start up the old Peak Radio Association club meeting here. And let's go around the old table here and introduce ourselves. I think everybody knows everybody else here, but we'll start there with Bill.
Hi, Bill, KE7ZKH, coming to you from beautiful downtown Corvallis.
And Tyler.
Tyler, WB7DD, and I'm just a few blocks away from Bill.
Cool. Okay, and Paul?
Zero VLR, currently in Boston, Massachusetts.
Okay, and the other Paul?
Paul W7PEB from between Winston and Roseburg, out in the bushes.
Yeah. That makes a long commute for field day. Olin.
Hold up, WA7YXY from Corvallis.
Okay, and Andy?
Andy, W7AAY, between Corvallis and Tangent.
And Larry out there.
Larry, AF7NU in Corvallis.
Cool. And Matt and his wife?
F7BVN. W7BNC.
Great, thank you. And Ted?
W7RTM, the suburbs of Philomath.
And Anna?
I'm, excuse me, I'm Annalise McDermott, NH6Z in the metropolis of Lebanon, Oregon.
Wow. And Drew?
W3HES over here in Albany.
Great. And this is Mike, W7RIS, about 10 miles north of Corvallis, just off of 99, back in the woods a little bit. So let's hit the old secretary's report there. Actually, it was posted online. And I guess the big question is, anybody see any problems in it, or pretty straightforward? Looking good. Okay. And Andy, I see you're pulling up the information there.
Yeah, treasurer's report as of June 17th. Our checking account balance was $1,832.10. And our savings was $2,841.56. Our total Oregon State Credit Union balance is $4,313.66. Our PayPal balance is $226.70. Our Square Up balance is $0. Our cash on hand is $23.91. Our total, $4,564.91. and 27 cents. And during May, we earned 6 cents in interest. So far this year, our major expenses were $200 for our liability insurance policy, $312 for our Corvallis Park permit for field day, and $50 filing fee for our annual report to the Secretary of State of Oregon.
Yep.
And that's it.
Thank you very much. Any questions on that? Okay, let's move off to club or old business there. So anything on old business? I'm not sure what got left out there from last month. Don't see anybody raising any issues or anything going on there. So let's hit on new businesses. New business, anything for the new side, except we're going to hold off on field day. That's going to be a subject all by itself. Okay,
I
nothing
think
on
that's
new
that's the big ticket item here today, Mike.
Okay.
Yeah, for every club, not just this one.
Yep. Okay, field day. Let's open up that topic there. So that's coming up this coming weekend. I had posted a couple pieces of email kind of outlining what the plan is. It's pretty much the cut and paste of what we did last year. The one difference is that you get to listen to me kind of trying to organize this group. So there'll be a few little shortcuts. I don't have quite the depth in the background that Bill has on it. So I kind of used a cookie cutter so it could fit what I could do and what my expertise was. So anybody has any questions on the outline that I put up there as far as when we start setting up, when the contest starts, when it ends? Technically speaking, the contest runs for 27 hours, but it takes time to tear things down, put things away. And most of us aren't young spry chickens. So it takes a little bit out of us to do some of that stuff. We're not quite like Matt out there that can work all day and all night long. So
one note is that the 27-hour is if you don't start setting up until Saturday. If you start setting up on Friday, you're limited to 24 hours.
Yep. So that's why you might hear some conversations going on after we end up at 11 o'clock on Sunday. So let me just okay, so the next thing is let's hit food. Knock that off the table. So typically I laid out what I thought that we normally provide there. I think we provide, isn't it, a lunch on Saturday, dinner on Saturday, Sunday breakfast, and Sunday lunch. Is Bill, was that correct as far as food that we usually support there?
Yeah, in the past, we've done some stuff on Friday, but whatever everybody wants to do.
Okay, so did we want to do anything else on Friday or Saturday morning? No? Okay.
Yeah, it sounds to me like a lot of people aren't going to drift in until Saturday anyway. So might as well put everybody on their own for Friday and Saturday morning.
That's what I'm kind of was getting was the number of people and early setup and get things going. So we'll kind of leave it the way it is there. So what did we, Drew, do you remember what was in our last year as far as what we had for menu?
It was 3 years ago. And I think we had someone else that was master chef. I was just playing helper.
Who was master chef 3 years ago? Oh, okay.
Carson.
So it really comes down to this: burgers and dogs,
Yep.
And I think we had one side dish.
Muffins.
Yeah, and so no, I haven't gotten to the
Chips.
breakfast yet. So hang on. I know you love the breakfast. And so you gotta go with the Noveler McMuffins. And that is basically you throw the grilled, the buttered English muffins onto the griddle, and then you cook the sausage and then the egg, and then you smash it all together and throw some cheese on it. And it is a very manly kind of breakfast.
Yeah.
And in the sense of, you know, anybody who's close to, and you might need a defibrillator afterwards. I'm sorry, but it is very,
Yep.
very tasty and good, and it gives you the energy to tear down.
Yep. Yeah.
Sounds a lot like 7QP breakfast, actually.
Um,
And on that note, I would like to offer my, I have a brand new Blackstone. I can't get to it right now, but I can get somebody to go get it. If anybody needs to borrow it, it's still in a box in my garage, and I will make arrangements if needed.
okay.
I was
Matt?
planning on bringing a grill as well.
Okay, cool.
Thanks, Ted.
Matt, so for some reason, I can't remember, Matt, your wife's name. It's a block right now. Say again?
Brittany.
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 I had the B, but I just couldn't put it together.
No comment.
Thank you. You saved me on that. So, okay, I know that you got a busy schedule too. And so are you at all in any position to help out here at all?
Not this year. I'm gonna
Okay,
ask that somebody else step in this year.
okay. Okay, so Drew, if I give you a hand to do the shopping and stuff, are you willing to take and handle the business of doing the cooking for us?
Yeah, I'm happy to take care of cooking. And
Okay.
I'm happy to try to help with shopping, but I'm probably not going to be as good at that, but I can fake it if you need me to.
Okay, so kind of the place I usually go is Winco over there in Albany. And that's usually my place where I usually head to do all that heavy duty shopping like that.
Yeah, give me a list and a checkbook and I can get that done. I mean, when would you usually pick it up?
How about if we go ahead and take that offline and we'll
Okay.
sort that out between us? There's no sense in dragging everybody through the cooking list. Or
I took the day off Friday to help whatever is needed.
great.
But I can also get things done earlier than that, but
Mhm.
Can you
Okay.
pre-order and pick up at Winco like you can at other places?
I do not believe so. And sometimes, it's okay if you know what you want to get and know what you want to grab. Sometimes it's better to be hands-on so you can grab what the quality that you want and what you want. Because some of these places, when you do that, it's like if you allow substitution, you may not like what you get for a substitution there.
Do you want to?
If you guys need a hand with discussing the whole food item thing, I'm happy to, if you just send me an email, I'll be happy to participate in the call.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Remember, I had CQ Food Day the first year I joined the club, remember? And
Yeah.
so we can bring up that presentation again if I can find it.
Yep.
One thing you might want to remind people about is it looks like the weather is getting warmer. Forecast I looked at a few days ago said 80 degrees down here, and now they're saying 90. So you might remind people to keep hydrated.
remember
So
one of
that-
the field days, it was 107. So
Yeah.
Last year, I
and-
remember it well.
And people were looking me at inside my camper with the air conditioning running, and I thought they were going to kill me. So
there were some pitchforks and torches being passed around.
yeah. So yeah, that was, okay. Thank you, Paul, on that. That was kind of my next thing I was gonna put out there is that this, I was so hoping for a 73-degree day, overcast with clouds. I was so praying for that. But again, we're gonna get hit with one of these darn blistering days or blistering weekend that is just gonna make things really, really tough. And we're gonna have to watch out as far as water and stuff like that and make sure we all stay hydrated. So we'll probably need to find someone that has a big water pitcher that we can keep iced and then also keep some Kool-Aid or something in there to keep us all hydrated. and
Mike,
functional.
when you come by to get the tables, I've got a 5-gallon igloo.
Beautiful, thank you. Okay, so so out of this group here, who do we have that's is actually going to come? Can you, in some capacity, So just if you end up raising your hand as far as just to get some idea of what we have. So, yeah.
What's the question again?
Okay, who's going to come to the event? Who's going to be there?
Pending how I feel after my infusion on Friday, they say you generally don't start feeling really bad for 2 or 3 days after. So I might make an appearance on Saturday. Don't intend to do a whole lot except rip and grin.
Yeah,
No,
we'll
and
have.
Bill, and I second that, Bill. Don't do anything strenuous, please. And security, safety officer, make sure he doesn't do anything strenuous.
I'll drink your Gatorade.
We'll have a chair out there set up for you to enjoy. Okay, so again, how many plan on showing up for the this year's event? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So
Scott
looks like
Gilbert will be going.
yeah, okay, 6 be 7.
And our new member, Paul.
Paul, yeah, Paul will be there as a short time. Okay. So another thing that it brings up is that in the past, we have had spotting enabled on the system. So as you're going through things, you can see who's, if you don't have a band scope, it makes it easier when you're doing search and pounce on who to jump on to know if they're a multiplier or know if they're just going to add to the score. At this point, I don't have, I mean, anything I do as far as enabling spotting, and we end up having to do that through a Wi-Fi connection, I have to end up buying some minutes out there. And so this year, do we still want to do the spotting? And the price tag is either $40 or $60, depending on how much data that we end up buying. Any discussion? Do you see that as a big plus, or do you think that that's?
I mean, personally, maybe I'm an idiot, but I don't end up using spotting. I mean, I've got good band scopes and I'm just kind of playing the band how it is and not really chasing a whole lot.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I mean, we could go chasing molts, but I mean, with as many operators as we usually have, we usually end up getting them covered pretty quick.
Yeah, I've never used it. I've never benefited from it a whole lot. I've had it turned on and used it, but you know, I can certainly, you know, I could have certainly done without it if I were going to be operating.
And we're
I
talking
would
about
agree on,
DX
on
spotting
field day.
or
On field day, it's not much of a, it's not as much of a help as it is during the contest weekend.
Ted?
Right.
yeah, my question was, the way you phrased that, Mike, it sounded like this kind of spotting that who's operating what band when. And we'd had in the past had Bill's network to help us do that. Or are you talking about DX spotting?
DX spotting.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so To me, what I'm hearing is that people don't feel like it's a big benefit, big boost to help us out. And we're really more in it for fun than actually to make sure that we get a first place position in our class. So I'll go ahead and drop that. I'm not going to do that.
It's low power. It's no fun anyway anymore.
Yeah, really low power.
100 watts.
Annalise, are you gonna dim the Corvallis substation with your setup, or are you leaving it home?
I brought my amplifier. We can't run it on field day. It caps out at 100 watts, but I brought my amplifier to 7QP and we were running 750 watts out of that. The only reason why I wasn't running 1500 is because I don't have a generator with 220 on it. Actually, I do, but you wouldn't be able to make any contacts because you wouldn't be able to hear yourself over that thing.
Yeah.
But no,
Oh,
I mean, if you're asking about my equipment, I don't know exactly. I know what I'm bringing for myself. I know what I'm bringing for Scott, because Scott's going to borrow one of my rigs. I don't know if I should bring the 6700 or not. It's not real difficult for me to bring. You just have to figure out a computer to pair to it. I mean, this is a little bit easier at field day because we're in civilization and we can go back home for things that we missed and things like that. That isn't possible at 7QP. So if there's anybody that would like to get on the air but is missing a rig to do that, or if we want to do a GOTA station of some sort with my 6700, we can probably do that. But I just need to know whether I need to throw it in the car or not.
That's an interesting point since Bill usually sets up the go-to station.
Yeah, I was going to blow it off this year, even when I was still intending to run the operation. We haven't had that much use out of it in the past. You know, if you're going to get a bunch of non-hams in there to try it out, you really need to push hard in pre-field day preparations, you know, hit up the high schools, that sort of thing.
Well, I mean, any of the folks that are,
just, you know,
any of the drop by folks that are just going to kind of drop by on Saturday and that's their participation. If there's a critical mass of people that would like to get on a radio for an hour or so, you know, that would be worth bringing it for me. I'm not sure. I'd have to figure out what I had for an antenna, but I'm sure that between Mike and I, we can probably come up with something.
In the past, there has not been very much drop-by activity.
So thereby, we were not going to do a GOTA station this year.
Okay.
So I sent out some email on N3FJP for the logging system that we're going to use. So everybody's on the same page, same logging system that we've used year in and year out. The only difference is that the network that ends up connecting it back to the file server. So we'll have a common place. So all the dupes on different bands and stuff, or when things that can get pre-filled in where we've already made contacts with the guys, that all gets handled by a common server. So I'll be using the same server that I use on the 7QP event. And then we will be using a standard good old Wi-Fi connection for networking everybody together. So anybody has any problems with using standard Wi-Fi off of their laptop for this? Okay, everybody sounds pretty good on that.
This is the same one you use for 7QP?
Same thing as
Right.
I'm using for 7QP. So
All right.
I'll probably put my camper out in the middle of where everybody is, and that'll be, the antenna will be up on a tall pole there. So, you know, that thing there is pretty easy to reach out 300 plus feet, and everybody should have a good signal unless they live in a Faraday cage.
The river floaters will be happy to get Wi-Fi stealing it off of your connection. Like,
Well, I mean, the one thing twist on that is that I noted there that there will be a password on this.
oh,
So
okay.
it will not be open. you will need to use a password, so it'll make things a little bit harder. Someone will have to work to crack that. It's not a hard password, but it keeps the riffraff out. That's the other thing, is that if we had an internet connection there, then it could also be a free Wi-Fi for everybody rafting through the area.
I'm sorry, I assumed that was the case. Okay, never mind. I retract my comment.
Okay, so the next thing I wanted to hit on was, also please, if you can, whatever laptop you're bringing, make sure that you load it up with the latest N3FJP. I specified the version number and all of that information on it. And then obviously you want to also spend a few minutes getting N3FJP, working with whatever transceiver that you're going to end up bringing to the event. And that just saves you time rather than fighting it in the field where you can't get documentation. When you know it, you haven't done it working at home, and you get in the field, it should work there. So the next thing is that typically I bring a nice 40-foot tower, and it certainly takes a fair amount of work for us to all put that thing together and get that thing up in the air. And it's a real dream to operate on and work with, but there is a lot of work, risk, and effort that goes into that. Likewise, on the takedown at the end of this contest, we all have to be around there, same number of guys. It takes a minimum of 6 people to get this thing up in the air and also to get it back on the ground. So I was kind of seriously thinking about not bringing it this year. One part was to see what we had for head count for people showing up. And the second part was it's going to be really hot. And I remember that several years when we've had really high temperatures, that was no fun to get up in the air and get back down when you're out there working in the sun, baking your brains out in that thing. So does this give anybody a heartache of not having that big old honking tower? It's a sure nice edifices to have up in the air, but I don't think it's going to do us any favors having it this year.
I vote for safety, Mike. And, this hobby is to be enjoyed. And, one way to enjoy that is to minimize the effort of takedown, setup and takedown, especially with a smaller number of participants this year, especially during the setup and takedown time. I vote you innovate and try to find a wire antenna that works.
Hey, folks, I got to bail out now. Hopefully, I'll see most of you on Saturday.
Take care, Bill.
We'll
Take
see you,
care,
Bill.
Bill.
Take care.
Yeah. Be well.
Okay, are there any other issues or things that popped up? I will be bringing Bill's canopy. I'll be checking to make sure that we have at least 2 tables out there. I'll be bringing a couple other tables from Bill for doing setup for cooking. So I also have the banner that will be hanging up there. So I think we got that part of it kind of taken care of. Anybody have any other questions or stuff on?
Yeah,
on
do you need any money for food before you set up?
I'll just go ahead and cover it, and then I'll just submit an invoice at the end of it. But
Okay.
But I have enough money on hand, like a credit card, that'll take care of the problem.
I would like to suggest that the club has at least 2 24-bottle cases of water around, especially if there's a lot of heat and, people may not bring enough personal water. It's good to have it around, and it can be used any other time.
Yeah. And then same way we'll keep ice. We may have to do an ice run in the middle of some of this, but I'll be bringing my big ice chest with me so we can stuff drinks and water bottles and stuff like that in there, keep it going. But with stuffing in warm water into the box, that ice is not going to stick around for forever.
So we're not asking the question, and I wish I could participate and partake in this, but with the license that we got with the Parks and Recs, are we able to bring some responsible adult beverages?
I don't know, but I certainly wouldn't advertise it.
Yeah.
And I would say that typically in that event, wouldn't want to be drinking during the daytime because that's just going to end up dehydrating you really quickly. But I know at the end of the evening when you like to, before crawling in bed, it's kind of nice to end up having a nice cool one there.
If memory serves, that location has allowed beverages of that sort in the past.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thank you, Tyler.
Good on you.
That's stealth mode there, Tyler.
Okay, any other field day things before we close that subject up?
Well, I hope there will be some wins because, you know, the flag didn't work out at 7QP. The flag's coming out at field day, damn it.
Okay,
So I just got a text from Anthony, KE7OSN. Adult beverages are covered by the club's permit. So we either had an adder or it was included in the permit. So
okay,
just be responsible. That's it.
okay. Super cool.
I believe that was something that we had to add to be able to have that.
Well, you know, we're all older and we don't look homeless, so CPD won't bother us. Speaking as a defense attorney that used to work in Corvallis, CPD won't bother us.
Okay, cool. Anything else? Going once?
I was curious if we had a count of how many stations we thought we were going to have this year.
Good question there. What do we think? We know, let's see, I'll have a station, Anna will have a station, Scott will have one. Keep going.
Ted?
Ted will have one.
4.
4.
So yeah, probably 4 is probably going to be it.
Okay, so
Olin's trying to say something, but he's on mute.
Olin, you're still on mute. Can't hear you.
Might be on double mute.
Yeah.
I've done this before.
His lips are moving, but nothing's coming out.
Olin, you're probably on double mute. You got to check both devices.
Is that like double secret probation or something?
It is double secret
all right.
probation. Thank you, Animal House. So Olin's on Zoom mute and phone mute. That's what's going on.
I think he's ready to slam it into the wall.
He's given up, but I think he was trying to say that he may be bringing a station, or he may not be bringing a station. One of the two.
Okay.
What is it, Olin? You going to bring one? Thumbs up or thumbs down? You're leaving it home.
Let's see your thumb. Let's see your thumb.
Okay. He's not in the screen.
Okay.
And there's a lot of good, you know, not everybody can operate for 24 hours on their station. So share it a little bit, take a break, walk around, you know.
Yep, that's what I plan on doing. Just letting other
Stick
people
with 3 or 4
play with the
alpha
glory. Yep.
and, you know, or something like that. And you'd be surprised how.
And you know,
it'll
I
just
am a shameless Flex Radio shill these days. So if you would like to operate one and, you know, figure out how it works for a while, you're more than welcome to come and tap me on the shoulder and work my Flex. That sounds really nasty now that I say it out loud, but you
We
know,
understand.
Scott will also have a Flex.
Get a kickback
6400.
at it?
Yeah, I get paid every month. That's always good.
No, but she will have purchase orders ready for signature.
I can get you in contact with the right people. You know, I'm an engineer. They don't trust me with money. That's what I have to tell people at, you know, all these conferences. You don't want to give me money.
Okay. Any final says on field day? So right now I have it confirmed of about 4 alpha for participants. Okay,
We will be
Uh,
listening from Sutherland, hoping to get in contact with you, get some QSLs.
sure. No
I'll try and
problem.
point the antenna south for a while then.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I'm truly sorry that I cannot make it. I mean, this was,
You are
Um,
pretty sorry, Paul.
I am pretty, I look pretty sorry. I've always looked pretty sorry. It's just the way, that's the DNA that was handed to me. So, but anyway, I do wish everybody a great experience. First of all, be safe. Number two, just, enjoy the hobby we all love and share it with others. And it's not about the points, it's about the experience. And,
So
I
Paul,
wanna
can
thank-
I ask how your dad is doing?
He's surviving, not thriving. And so we're trying to get to a point where we can figure out, how he can thrive. And so, but thank you for asking. Yeah, it's, we're at that point, we're at that point where we're like, we've seen every specialist and we're like, okay, now what? So, yeah, it's too complex to share during this meeting time without going over. But it's not just one thing.
Okay, so let's wrap it up on good old field day. Anybody have any big brags that they want to end up throwing out there that's happened in this last month? Big brag.
After waiting for like a year, tomorrow I get my Tuner Genius, which is a full 1500 watt antenna tuner that'll tune 10 to 1 on the backside of it. So I'm really happy. We've been constrained in supply for a while, so it's taken a while for us to get all the customer ones delivered so that us scumbag employees can get one too. So
Great.
it will be
Nice.
it just in time for field day. So it will be at
Mhm.
field day.
Cool.
I got first class or first place in Benton County for 7QP.
Nice work, Ted.
Congratulations.
That's awesome. That's not easy to get because
Yeah.
Benton County is pretty populated, for 7QP.
Yeah, well, let's see, we added to you, we talked to you. So, yep, cool. Anybody else?
Unfortunately, we only got second. So
I'll be showing some of that stuff coming
Oh,
up here in
alright.
just a moment here. Okay, let's move on to another thing and let's just do a quick recap on good old 7QP. And we'll show a little bit about what we did. And so get this up here. So everybody see the slide there? Yep, okay, great. So basically this year there was 5 of us guys that did, or us
And
guys.
girls.
I can't say that. I can't say that. 5 of us hams that participated. So we had Anna, Scott, Anthony, Bill, and yours truly here attended. So this was kind of I don't remember if I've shared this one again, but this kind of is a history of since we've been going up there, at least looking back and clear back to 2014, all the way up to now. And there's a few years, or at least 1 year that we skipped. We did kind of squeeze something in last year, but this was the absolute best score that we had ever got. So it
Fabulous.
was, fabulous.
What a
We,
great
had-
effort, Mike and team.
But one of the things that Scott really helped out on, I mean, both, both Ann and Scott, but good old Scott, we always count on him for CW, and but he always gets drowned out by using his good old 706 there. And so we put, actually had him put him on a flex radio, and he had an absolute ball day. So with all of the really good equipment that we had up there, it really, really helped out on the score. Plus we had actually some halfway decent propagation out there. So this was what our score sheet looked like. And you can see where we got some good CW contacts and good old 40
20
meters
meters
and,
was the bread and butter?
and 20 meters was the bread and butter. Usually it's
Holy
40 meters.
smokes.
Yep. Yep.
And in
So,
fact,
and-
because of the
That's
rigs,
completely opposite of what Pennsylvania QSO party is. It's 80 and 40. This is unbelievable.
you know, 20 was good. I worked it all, pretty much all the time. And we actually had a situation where Scott and I were both on 20, him and CW and me and sideband, and we were not all up in each other. So it worked out pretty
Sweet.
well.
That's fabulous.
Okay, so as far as what we got for certificates, put this in the wrong order, but overall, we ended up with second place. There was another group out there in Utah that beat our pants by a whole lot. And kind of interesting, but of course, what they had was this trailer that they pulled up, and then they ratcheted up this big old honking tower that had this big old antenna at the very top of it. So they had one of these portable towers that was able to give them a lot of reach out there. So, okay. And then the other two slides that we had there for Wheeler and Crook County, we got first place in. No big deal on that. So that was kind of nice to end up getting those knocked off.
Hey, that's a great effort by the team and a lot of dedication. And I know that there was some scouting trips involved and checking the snowpack and everything else. And so everybody
Yep.
gave a little, and that's a great result. Don't be miffed by that. Be proud of that. First
Well,
and second place is not bad.
Yeah, we really had our guns loaded. We really wanted that first place, and we had a really nice score there. But unfortunately, it just didn't work out. We had someone that really knocked us for a loop there. But,
Mike, I've got
at least-
pictures. I've got pictures if people would like to see.
Sure.
I can. There we go. So there's Scott at his station. Can everybody see?
Yep.
Okay. And there's
Is he
Bill.
pulling his hair? Is he pulling his hair out?
I think he is,
I think he's curling his hair at that point.
Yeah, there you go. There's Bill working some QSOs. That was Anthony's station there. And that was my station. You can see down here, the amplifier is on the lower left-hand side there. Anthony doing some cooking. That's the warming hut that most of us always set up in. There's the stove in the middle actually keeps it really warm in there. And Anthony always goes and chops some wood.
And the surprising thing is that stove, it was in good working shape this year. We didn't have to do any repairs on it like usual.
Nice.
So there's the outside of that. You can see my vertical and you can see my hex beam in the distance, and that's Anthony's tent. That's my hex beam.
Oh, there it is. Is that a multi or a single? It's a multi-band, right?
It's 6 through 20.
Yep. Okay.
It's by Buddy Pool, so it's their new Buddy Hex. These are Bill's antennas and Bill's SUV or RV over there. That's kind of the other side. You can see where some of the wire antennas are up there. There's Mike. He doesn't like to hang out near us, so he goes to the other side of the place. Those are some of the wire antennas up in the trees. And then all the
Could these
generator
pictures,
cable.
Be made available on the club site?
Sure, I'm happy to send them to anybody. And you can see some of the start of the weather. That's my wife sending me dog pictures. And this is when we were getting ready to break camp on Sunday. We got snowed on.
You might mention the temperature, what it was when we woke up.
Oh, wasn't it like below 20?
It was
Somewhere in
well,
there.
when I crawled out of the sack, it was 20 degrees outside.
Yeah.
And when, by the time we got everything packed up and getting out of there about 11:30, but it was still below freezing. I still had
Mhm.
icicles hanging off of my camper.
Anyway, there are the 7QP pictures.
Very nice. Very
Mine at
cool.
least.
I miss it. I'm just, I can't wait to go next year. But I'm not gonna be in a tent. I gotta find some other means.
You need an
That-
appropriate sleeping
That was a hard
bag.
lesson, Mike. It was
Yeah,
a hard
I-
lesson.
I
I'm still
know
going
it.
to the chiropractor after that one.
Oh, man, I'm sorry, but I mean, they do have, I mean, I have a sleeping bag that'll take me down to 10 below.
Mhm.
And still, even some of this crazy stuff I used to do up in the mountains there, many mornings I'd get up and I would make sure I didn't touch the tent, because if I touched the inside of the tent, I had all of this frost that would end up raining down on me as in a solid form. And and I'd get out and try and make breakfast, and the water going across the rocks in the brook there, I mean, it was over an inch thick on it. So you got to get the right equipment. I'm not going to tell you what it was like this year up there, though.
I tell you, that
Okay.
stove works really good.
Ah, it worked great. That just throw a log in it every once in a while, and it just keeps everything nice and toasty there. Very, very comfortable. Okay, I have a kind of a short program this evening. If you want me to do it, I can do it. We're going to talk about measuring traps, and these are not the kind of traps that you go out there and grab critters with. This is the kind of traps that are on different kinds of antenna to kind of arrest where RF goes. Do you guys want to listen to it, or I'll save it for another
I
time?
personally am gonna bail. I have an 8 o'clock meeting, and I need to be standing tall, and that's, it's almost 11 o'clock here. So, ladies and gentlemen, have a great field day. Sorry I can't be there. And I can't wait to come back and have real live meetings. So see you all soon.
I can tell
Paul.
you need your beauty sleep, right?
Yeah.
I need a lot of beauty sleep.
Hey,
I need
Paul,
my beauty sleep as well, so I'm gonna have to drop off too.
Okay.
Stay on the paved roads, Paul.
Yeah. Who said that? Drew. Oh, you're just a beast. Stay on the paved roads. Oh,
Never lived like
ouch.
that.
Where's Scott when you need him? He's the one who got me off track.
Okay,
That's my
so,
story and I'm sticking to it.
okay, we'll see you guys. Do you guys want to listen to the program here, or should I save
I'm
it up
game.
for another time? Okay,